This episode of Rick and Rick is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in ultra-stylish, premium-quality travel gear, like the Taskin Air Duo dual-sided compression packing cubes. One side's 100% air breathable to keep clean clothes fresh and wrinkle-free. The other side's odor and water-resistant to keep dirty laundry sealed up tight. Now you can pack up to 40% more in the same space. Save 30% on your next purchase when you use the promo code R&R Take 30. That's R&R Take 30 at TaskinSF.com.
Is that the smell of chatbots roasting on an open fire? In a Rick and Quick episode of Rick and Rick Rule the World, the Ricks discuss the fallout over Coca-Cola's new AI-generated holiday advertising campaign and more.
Welcome, everyone, to an all-new episode of Rick and Rick Rule the World. Rick Matheson and Rick Wooten. First up, according to Ad Age, Coca-Cola has officially launched its first AI-generated television ad campaign with 3 new versions of its classic Holidays Are Coming spot from 1995. The 3 spots feature these vibrant visuals of Coke trucks rolling into town and music from what I guess was the original spot. What's funny, Rick, is I don't remember this spot. Didn't know it was a classic. But anyway, they've got the 3 spots. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I did watch one of them. I was able to find one of them and I enjoyed it. I mean, I did kind of notice that the music sounded familiar. It sounded like something of old. Yeah, I think they're doing a little bit of marketing here. I don't think they used a whole lot of AI in this. I think that a lot of this was practical, and they slapped in just a little bit of AI just to say AI.
I was wondering about that. In fact, that actually made me feel a little bit better about the spots, because when I first saw the headline, the Coca-Cola's first AI-generated TV campaign, I kind of was like, a company that the tagline is the real thing probably shouldn't be using AI. But once I watched the commercials, I realized they're really no different than any animated commercial, just that the technology is slightly different.
Yeah, exactly.
So I didn't feel as bad about it as I thought at first.
Yeah, I have to say, I found an article in the Telegraph, and they were talking about this. And to quote them, they're saying that Coca-Cola solely used artificial intelligence to generate this year's advertising instead of casting a person in Santa Claus. And so what it really came down to being is the Santa Claus part. The guy in the billboard, all that was mostly the AI. But yeah, I think, they actually used real trucks and stuff like that. So.
Oh, did they? I thought that was all animated. Interesting. It's funny because, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, I saw a Forbes article. They were talking about this, and I guess someone had done research where they found that most consumers can identify AI-generated copy and visual content and are usually turned off by it enough that it actually lowers response rates. And some brands are counter-positioning themselves to the trend. Yeah. And the example they gave was Unilever, their Dove beauty brand. They created this marketing campaign that promises to, quote, never use AI to create or distort women's images. And I thought that was pretty smart. But then I found myself thinking that might have been a good thing for Coke to do as well, just given that they're all about being the real thing. They could do something around, we promised to only use the real thing.
Yeah. But, I'm okay. Like, I don't have an issue if companies are starting to use AI, as long as they use it well.
Continuing the AI thread for this episode, Amazon is bringing AI recaps to Prime. This was in TechCrunch. They're reporting that Amazon is bringing generative AI-powered recaps to Prime Video. And the idea here is that instead of scouring the internet for a summary of a TV show or whatever and accidentally reading spoilers, Prime Video's new feature aims to kind of protect you from that you'll get kind of a recap of what happened without spoiling major plot points. And I don't know, I kind of thought they were already doing this.
I think it's funny when there's situations like this, because I kind of did too. Yeah. And I just assumed because they already heavily use AI and other stuff, the Alexa devices, stuff like that. Yeah, I just assumed they were too. But, it totally makes sense. I'm not even sure this was like necessarily newsworthy. It's kind of like an expected, I would think that they would use it for. Yeah. But it's cool. It's cool that they are. I read a little bit about the technology and how they're doing it. And it sounds like it's impressive. So I'm interested to see how good the recaps are going to be.
Yeah, I suspect that at least early on, we're going to actually see social media posts about how wildly off the summaries are, and there'll be some funny instances, I'm sure. But when we've talked a little bit about this, but, the large language models and the pre-trained transformers, they currently get a lot wrong, even in just summarization. And some have pointed out, if Amazon's AI recommends a book or a TV show, based on your reading or your viewing history, and it's wrong, it's no biggie.
Yeah.
But buying a calculator that's wrong 15% of the time would be a total disaster. And I was reading that teachers actually got wise to, all the kids using ChatGPT to write their book reports. The teachers have started instructing students to have ChatGPT or another Gen AI tool write the book report for them.
Yeah.
And then they have to write a paper about everything the generative AI got wrong about the book that it was reviewing, which I thought was pretty clever. I mean, that was pretty smart because you have to have read the book to know what the Gen AI is getting wrong. But here, it's one of those things where who cares if the summary's wrong? I don't know. I thought they were already doing it. I'm sure we'll see some funny instances of things gone wrong as it first launches.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Yep. We are off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of what the... This is almost like that story about Bath and Body Works, which, by the way, I think I said wrong twice in the episode. I didn't realize till after. But this reminded me of this. So CNBC is reporting that Mattel has pulled thousands of Wicked dolls off shelves after printing an adult web address on its packaging. So Universal's new Wicked movie is coming out, I guess, this month, if it's not out already. It's based on a Broadway musical, which is based on The Wizard of Oz. And apparently there's a collection of dolls related to this. And the packaging, unfortunately, had a quote-unquote misprint that sent users to a Wicked website that wasn't in any way suitable for children. Now, this cracked me up, Rick, because the upside here is that the doll packages featuring the misprint have become serious collector's items, selling for as much as $2,100 on eBay.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
I mean, this happens occasionally. There's like the Disney Little Mermaid cover that looks phallic, so that sells for a lot of money on eBay. And then I'll even share like a personal story. When I joined Seagate way back in the day, I helped them redesign their website, and one of the copy editors made a mistake, and they put in an 800 number instead of an 888 number, and it turned out to be a dating service. And I remember joking with people. It's like, well, most people who buy hard drives are kind of nerdy. Maybe they need some help. It didn't go over well.
Thankfully, this wasn't in the day of floppy disks.
That's right. It didn't go well, but we fixed it quickly. So, anyways, I have empathy for them. I feel bad for whoever did this. I mean, it was obviously a mistake, and they corrected it as quickly as possible. But it was a wicked mistake.
Well, that is going to wrap up this episode of Rick and Rick Rule the World. Till next time, stay safe, keep each other safe, and keep on coming back to the one show where everybody's name is Rick.
And everybody rules the world.